Hi, my name is Nicole, and I'm going to teach you how to sew. And I'm so excited to see what you do. My Instagram is Nuzlovo, so if you like this video, go ahead and give me a follow, tag me, talk to me, something, please, I don't know. I just want to build my community and see what other people are doing. You can do this! Sewing is a weird thing to start, but once you start it, you can't stop. I've been sewing for 2 years, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with my sewing machine. I'm obsessed with creating, with the ideas. So if you are a beginner, you want to start, this is your sign to start right now. Go get it. Go get your machine. People have been telling me that they want to learn because I can't invite everyone to my house, even though I want to. So first things first, check your manual. I'm rocking the Singer SMO24. Everything that I'm going to go over is in your manual, and it's specific for your sewing machine. Number one is setup. If you have the space, I would put it somewhere you can leave it out, and all you have to do is turn it on. If it's in your vicinity, if you see it, if it's out, if it's accessible or easy, you're going to use it more. So you plug in your pedal. The pedal controls the speed of sewing. You're going to plug it into an outlet. You're going to plug it into your machine. You're going to turn it on, and then you're ready to sew. This is where I talk about personalizing your machine. This is yours. Make it yours. So I took the hood off because I wanted to see the inner workings of my machine to better understand it, and when it gets stuck, I can see what's happening. I put some magnets on so that I don't lose my things, and they're easily there. Here are my needles. You don't need needles. Get clips. Clips are easier. Needles are a pain. It's always good to have these things handy. Here are a couple more things that you can get. I have a clear ruler. Nice. And then this is used to thread your needle if you do some hand stitching. This is good to get your measurements. I don't really use it. I eyeball things, and I use girl logic, but you can do the math. This can hold your pins. So helpful. Air erasing pen. Very useful. I use this all the time. It's my favorite thing. I love it. And then this is your seam ripper, which is your best friend. Sewing is very forgiving, but you can only take something apart so many times depending on what you're ripping. Sometimes you can just break it up. The little ball goes down and the pointy thing goes up. And this has two, so it's a little weird. And then you can just rip it. With most cases, sometimes you, it'll break, but that's okay. This is just scraps, so it's okay that it's breaking. These are very well done. Another thing that I did when I was learning is I took apart clothes like this. I turned it into an apron for my mom because I love her. And these double seams are really, they kind of take more time to unravel. But you can just do a couple at a time. Like skip every other. As you can see with like machine or things that you buy, the lines aren't even so straight. So you gotta give yourself some grace when you're first starting out. Yes. Oh, and another useful thing I have is, it has a heart. I gave it a heart. But, a little jar for all the little flyaways and all the little ends and all the little pieces that you can't really use, but I will use them later on to make something else. Okay, these are the pins that I got, or clips, to secure fabric. It's just, for me, sometimes it's easier than using pins. So doop, and I'll do it on the other side, and then I can zoom right through the machine. And another thing that's very helpful is an iron. I didn't record mine. I got this image from Adobe stock. Your machine comes with a bunch of different pressure foots. This is supposed to guide fabric. This is for buttons. I think these two are both the zipper. And then there's a little lever. This is your universal, the one that you use the most. If you're buying new foots, make sure that they are compatible with your machine, because not all foots are usable with a lot of different things. Oh my god, and then make sure that you don't have any breakages in your nails, because your fabric, and it'll be very annoying. Number 2 is needles. So you can use clips or you can use pins to secure the fabric. This is a screwdriver to change your needle. You gotta change your needle every 8 hours. If you feel like it's messing up and jamming, try changing your needle if everything else isn't working. And then fabric and thread and needles all work together. And this is a chart, very simple, that shows you what needles to use for different fabric types. The higher the number, the thicker the fabric. The lower the number, the smaller the needle. So we're gonna change the needle now. The first thing you gotta do is put an index card or a piece of paper directly under the needle that you're gonna change. So that this way, if it falls, it'll fall into the paper and not down into your machine. Next, you're gonna grab the screwdriver that comes with your machine, righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. Give it a couple, and then you're gonna use your hands, pull the needle out, and you can change it so that it matches your fabric, or there's a rounded side and a flat side to a needle. You're going to make sure that the flat side is facing the machine. Put the needle all the way up as far as it can go, and then with the other hand, just start cranking that little lever. And then give it a good extra twist. Hold the left side righty-tighty, so that's nice and secure. If you see that your machine keeps jamming, it may be a sign that your needle is installed incorrectly, or that this needle has passed its due and it's time to get a new. Number 3 is thread. I'm going to show you how to thread your machine. We're going to talk a little bit about thread types. I keep all of my thread in this shoebox. I section it off by different types. I have polyester. I have, in that really thin one, I have all of my machine usable ones. So I'm picking yellow, plop it in the top, check your manual, and follow the numbers. Hook it through this first top, bring it down, back up. Make sure that your needle is in the up position, otherwise you're not going to be able to loop onto this second hook. Bring it back down, and then there are 2 secure points. And then you're going to thread the needle. I like to put my finger behind the hole so that I can see it better. And bada bing, bada boom. Pushing my finger so that I can get the thread. Here's a close-up shot. If you are failing, you can also lick the end, and it'll make it sturdier. And it'll go through, like, on the first try. Yeah. Don't stress. You can do it. Winding the bobbin. So we're going to wind the bobbin. You put your thread that you want to go onto your bobbin here on either of the back sticks, and then you put it through the thread guide it through the thread guide, and then on your bobbin, that plastic see-through thing, clip the end, and there's a little hole that I'm going to put it through to secure the end so it doesn't come loose. Learn from my mistakes. You have to hold this thread, and you can put your foot all the way down, but I like to go at a steady pace. And you're winding the bobbin. I like to give the bobbin a little snip, a little haircut, to keep your threads organized. Make sure that you're putting the thread through the little notch on your spool so that it doesn't come loose and get all tangled up. So you're ready to thread the bottom of your machine. You're going to grab your bobbin case and you're going to plop in your bobbin, and then you're going to grab the thread and then push it through this little gap, and it hooks in. And when you pull it, it shouldn't be loose. It kind of has a tug to it. And then you're ready to put it in your machine. The little notch matches up, so that little handle goes up. There's a handle on the bobbin case that you push towards yourself, so it goes up and then it locks into the machine. Hold the top thread and hand crank the machine towards you, and you're gonna see that it catches the bottom thread. You're gonna grab it, that little loop. Now you're gonna grab both of your threads and make sure that they are under the presser foot and to the right or to the left. And this is really important when you start to sew, and you will see why. Now I'm going to show you how to put back the bottom, just in case things fall out or if you need to take it out. Make sure that the needle is in the up position when you do this, otherwise it will be wrong. So this first piece goes in, the two pointy prongs are on the bottom, and I'm going to hold it in place while I grab this. That notch always goes up and it goes under, and it places, everything fits perfectly. And if you do it wrong, you'll feel it, things may shift. It was really hard for me to do this angle. That's why I'm struggling. But don't worry, you got this. Think happy as Hans. When you feel it clicked into place, you're just gonna put these two little helpers on the notches so that nothing falls out. You did it. Congratulations. I'm so proud of you. That was really hard. And you may have struggled, but you kept to it and you did it. And now, you're unstoppable. The last step is to clean your machine. When you're using it a lot, little dust and particles accumulate, they get inside your machine, they start problems. So if you feel like your machine's jamming and you've done everything that you could do, give your machine a little clean. I'm just making sure there's nothing on it because I have those magnets. I gotta take all that stuff off. And then get a micro towelette and, clean it. Put some elbow grease in there. And you gotta take care of the things that you want to keep. This is your hand. This is an extension of you. Technically, we're cyborgs. 2025. And I use this fluffy, floofy brush instead of the little one that comes with my machine because I feel like it just picks up more. And you're supposed to oil your machine, but I've literally never done that. So maybe one day I'll be sewing and it'll be terrible and I'll try everything. And maybe I'll want to walk away, but maybe I'll walk to a store and get some oil.
You made it to number 4. We're gonna start sewing.
So here is the tension, the pattern selection, and stitch length. We're gonna go a little bit into these. When you're first starting out, practice. See what works for you. So the tension is the pressure of the top stitch. A 9 is a lot of pressure, and then a 1 is very loose. For me, a good range is 2.5 to 4. If your machine keeps jamming or it's just not working, try and play with your tension on some loose fabric. Here I have the pattern selection. Here I did on an artist trading card. And just test out all of your different patterns. It's really fun. See which ones you like. Have absolute favorites. Your stitch size. So a 4 is a very long stitch, and a 1 is a very tiny stitch, as you can see from my picture. Your machine has for your stitch length the SS option, which you can do with any of your pattern selections. It just means stretch stitch. So it's going to be a little bit longer, and it's going to be very useful for stretchy fabric. And also it gives a more professional look, not gonna lie. But test them out, figure it out, see which ones you like. Okay, so you're ready. All right, so the first thing we're gonna do is a straight stitch. These are the settings. You're going to have a 4 for your tension, A is a straight stitch, and I like to do a 2.5. You're gonna grab your fabric, place it under the foot. There's a little lever, you're pushing it down to secure your fabric. Make sure that your threads are under the presser foot and to the right. And whenever you are first starting out, it's good practice to hold these threads whenever you start sewing, because if you don't hold these, they're going to sloop, and then your machine won't sew. In the beginning and the end of every line, you need to do a backstitch to secure it, otherwise it will come undone. I'm guiding it, I'm not stretching the fabric. I find that if you stretch stretchy fabric while you sew it, it'll warp. When you are done sewing, backstitch, and then you may have to use the handle and crank it towards yourself. When you pull away whatever you're sewing, it should come easily. If it doesn't, use the handle. Then you're going to grab your scissors, your little snippers, and you're going to try to cut as close as you can to the fabric without destroying what you just sewn. And then you did a straight line. Good practice. I always check whatever I just sewed to see if I want to undo it and if I maybe need to do it again. So just always inspect what you've done so that you can learn and get better. Next thing I'm going to teach you how to do another stitch is my favorite. It's how you make ruffles. I'm going to call it ruffling. So this is what we're going to ruffle. Crank up the tension all the way to 9. You're going to use an A, a straight stitch, and then your stitch size is going to be a 4. You're going to put the lever down. You're not going to do a back stitch, and you're going to make sure that the lines, your threads, are kind of longer so that you can play around with the length. And then you're going to guide the fabric through. Pull on the string and guide the fabric to whatever kind of ruffle you're feeling, and then whenever you're satisfied with how it looks, you can do a straight stitch right over this to lock it in. And I'm going to make an artist trading card, so I'm going to grab another piece of fabric and do a straight stitch to tie it all together. And when you are sewing your ruffles, take it very slow, and you can always lift the presser foot and flatten or rearrange your ruffles so that they come out nicely. And when you're doing the straight stitch, remember to do a back stitch so you lock it in. I did 2 straight stitches on 2 sides, and I left some of it loose just for a little experimentation to show you how to do it, you know? We're gonna do a overedge stitch. This is an example of fabric that if you cut, it does not fray, but some fabrics like this one, if you do not do an overedge, it will fray over time and may unravel and come undone. So make sure that you have the correct thread. Over time, this process becomes really easy and you're able to flip through different patterns and different things that you need, and it's just so much fun. I'm just using some scrap fabric to show you how to get it done. You're going to do a tension of 4. I'm using the pattern H, and your stitch length is SS, stretch stitch. So to do an over edge, you can sew your line wherever and then cut down the fabric. Remember to do a back stitch. Go to the edge, and then instead of taking it loose and cutting it, I'm just making sure the needle is still in the fabric, lifting my presser foot, and then shifting the fabric so that it goes a different way, so that I have nice clean edges. Or you can put the fabric on the edge of your machine so that the needle goes over the fabric. If you don't use the right thread or the right needle for the right fabric, your thread will break or it'll knot, which is, it can be very frustrating. It's so good to take breaks, so take it one piece at a time and have fun. So this is what the fabric will look like if you sew over the edge. You get a little peacock. And then for this, if I wanted to cut it, but I like the look of loose ends. So, yeah. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something, if not anything. Oh my gosh. Well, this video took me a lot of time, so if you made it to the end, hey, and I can't wait to see what you do. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe? I don't know. Okay, bye. Oh my god. I think this is gonna be up to 2-part video. No, I'm gonna make it a 20-minute video and I'll go flying hoot.